with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube, not X today. Unfortunately, that was the reason for our delay getting on the show, trying to figure out why we are not getting a connection to X. We know a lot of people listen on our X stream, so we will work on that for you. In the meantime, I will work on giving you the best show possible, currently live on YouTube, and then you can get this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search The Rome Show podcasts. We got a hump day of headlines for the people.
Hump day!
And it's going to start in the NBA, trek to the National Hockey League, and then at some point in time, we can discuss the Mount Rushmore status of Jalen Brunson as a New York Knick. If you're wondering what Mount Rushmore means, it means top 4 in the history of the franchise. Get in on the action. The Rome Show 1, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X. Those are the social medias, or the mothership 12OZ Sports. We're going to take a quick commercial break here, see if we can get back on this Twitter thing. If not, we go for YouTube and the podcast after this minute break. Back after this.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
What's going on? Welcome back into the Rome Show here, broadcasting live on YouTube. And we will put this up as a podcast. I'm not going to make this a full show since we can't get the full show to everybody. So we will make it the best possible show we can for you, starting with the Western Conference Finals last night. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they demolished the Minnesota Timberwolves 114-188. The Thunder did this behind a second half that saw the T-Wolves only score 40 total points. They held Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, and squad to 18 points in the third quarter. What was crazy about that is Minnesota went into the halftime leading by 4 points. OKC outscores them by 14 in the third quarter, holds them to 18 points, and just like that, they take a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter. A lot of that had to do with a 10-0 run, and then a 16-point slaughtering in the fourth quarter got them a 114-88 victory. That's the thing with this OKC team, okay? I've talked about this a bunch in the postseason on how Oklahoma City could possibly be the best defensive team in the NBA, definitely the best defensive team remaining in the sport. They were holding teams in this postseason to 104.2 points per game, and they're turning teams over 17.2 times per game over the course of the postseason, okay? And this win got me thinking, how good have they been defensively? How good have they been this postseason on the defensive side? Well, 8 times in 13 postseason games, I believe it is, that they've played so far. The Oklahoma City Thunder have held teams under 110 points. Okay. Now that might not seem like, oh, wow, 110 points. They should be holding people to 100. Well, let's start somewhere. This is 2025's version of the NBA. Okay. So that is where it starts. You got to start with being at least the most stout defensive team there is. And then from there, you can improve, get better, whatever the case is. OKC, 8 times under 110 points, but take that a step further, 4 times held teams under 100 points. That is really good. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when it comes to winning and losing. 113.6 points per game in their victories, 8 of them this postseason, an average of, I believe it is 89 points, 86 points and a half, 86 and a half points in their losses. So the T-Wolves, they go down 0-1 in this series. And game 2 played on Thursday night. Tonight, the New York Knicks will host the Indiana Pacers at the Garden. Jalen Brunson and crew, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart. This could be one of my favorite iterations of watching the Knicks I've ever seen. It is fun. They play hard. Maybe they're not insanely deep, but for some reason this year it doesn't feel like the depth is as lacking, though it's still kind of lacking, if that makes any sense at all. And you got a really good matchup here. We talked about a few shows ago. We talked about the history of Indiana and New York. And that history takes a whole nother turn in a 5th installment starting tonight. Coming into this game, the Indiana Pacers, 117.7 points per game and a 50% field goal shooting percentage in this postseason. That is phenomenal. Okay. Offensive prowess, juggernauts, if I may, led by Tyrese Halliburton. The Knicks, however, kind of like the story we just talked about on the Western Conference side, holding opponents to 105.9 points per game during this postseason. However, scoring only about 107. So this is not a Knicks team that is going to, they can put up 125, but they're not going to. Their game plan is to play really, really good defense and really, really good offense. Okay? If they can hold you to 92 points, 98 points, and they can score 107, 110, that's exactly how the Knicks want to win. And it's a full team effort. We've talked about this. I think it was game 4 and game 6 versus the Boston Celtics. The Knicks won with 4+ starters scoring 20 or more points. If you're going to be a team that's going to rely on your main players for the 36+ minutes a game number, which is what the Knicks are going to do, 40+ in some scenarios, they have to be productive. They have to be productive. And the Knicks have been in their wins, and it's all started in the first half. How will the Knicks play in the first half? For Indiana, they're a very complete basketball team. Might be considered boring in some aspects. Might be considered not as exciting in some aspects. But wins. It's like what I think about with the Greg Popovich coach San Antonio Spurs with Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and crew. Okay? There was nothing sexy about that team, but man, could they win. They shared the basketball. They played defense. They knew where to be. They rotated in 9 to 10 players, but they also had superstars. Like Tim Duncan might have been superstar number 9 on the list, but that's probably only because of the sexiness of his game. Might not actually been because of how good he was, because how good he was really good. Tony Parker, really good. Manu Ginobili, really good. You start to go down the list there, and you're like, you have like Danny Green on that team. Don't ask my brother-in-law, thinks he's a bum, but Danny Green, okay? So you think about those things, and you're like, man, a team that moves the basketball, 7 different people can be your best scorer on that night, but you also have a superstar that most likely will be your best scorer on every night. But everyone else can also. Dudes want to play defense, right? Those teams are scary. And this has been the history of the Indiana Pacers, right? Last 40 years. They're not going to go out and spend an insane amount of money on free agency and get players in Indiana. You're going to develop those players. You're going to draft those players. You're going to make your franchise how you want to make your franchise. And that's exactly what Tyrese Halliburton is. That's exactly how this team is built. So if you're the Knicks, you cannot afford a first and a second quarter where you are lazy and you find yourself down by 14. Well, because this team ain't going to give up. They were in the conference finals last year. They know what this feels like, and they are hungry for that finals appearance. And they believe they're better than you, most likely. And they're playing with a lot of confidence, the Pacers are. So this should be a fun series. When we get back from this second commercial break, we will make some picks on who we think will take game number 1. Andrew Romanello, The Rome Show, 12OZ Sports. When we come back, National Hockey League and picks, we are going to table our Jalen Brunson, Mount Rushmore, Nick conversation for tomorrow when we can go fully live. All right? The Rome Show. 12OZ Sports. Back after this.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them. Yeah. Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Nice. What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the Rome Show here, 12ozsports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube. Unfortunately, not live on X today. We are having some streaming issues on that platform. So what we're going to do here is, like we always do, we'll put the show up as a podcast, the Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast. And then I'm going to attempt a restream of this show at some point in the next hour or two. But we'll finish today's show talking about the National Hockey League and making a few picks for you. And I want you to know you got to tune in on Thursday at 7 a.m. because not only should you tune in every day and the Rome Show should get your day started, but we are going to talk Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks. Now, they will play tonight, game number 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and we'll see what happens. But I want to talk to the people about how good of a career Jalen Brunson has as a Knickerbocker when all is said and done. I want to know where people feel Jalen Brunson stands on the Mount Rushmore of New York Knicks. Why? Because I think he's already at the top, at least the top 5 of New York Knicks all time, and he's only been there for 3 years. Okay? So we'll talk Jalen Brunson greatness tomorrow. There was greatness in Florida yesterday as the Panthers took care of the Carolina Hurricanes 5-2. Okay. Oh, in Carolina, excuse me. Florida jumped out to an early 2-0 lead. Carolina bounced back. They scored a goal in the first, went into the second period down 2-1. And over the course of the next 40 minutes, the Panthers outscored Carolina 3-1 to secure a 5-2 victory. The goal scorers in this game for the Florida Panthers were Sam Bennett, AJ Greer, Eetu Lustranainen, Carter Verhaeghe, and Aaron Ekblad. 5 different scores for the Panthers. Rocky mentioned this on Hockey with Rocky on Tuesday on how they are one of, if not the most complete team left in the postseason. Sergei Bobrovsky, 31 saves on 33 attempts in this contest. For Carolina, Frederick Anderson only saw 20 shots and gave up 5 goals. So got to get a little better there. Jackson Blake and Sebastian Aho, the goal scorers for the Panthers. This series 1-0. For the Hurricanes. This series 1-0 Panthers. And they will play game number 2 of this series on Thursday. Tonight, the Oilers and the Stars get started in the Western Conference Finals. I have a little bit of numbers here for you. Okay, this is a rematch of last year's Western Conference Final, with which the Edmonton Oilers took it and went to the Stanley Cup Finals. In this postseason, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl have done a fantastic job leading the Edmonton Oilers. As we talk about a lot on this show, your best players must be your best players, and those two have been the best players for the Edmonton Oilers and the for the Edmonton Oilers on offense. They have combined for 33 points this postseason, 17 for McDavid and 16 for Draisaitl. As a team, the Edmonton Oilers score 3.91 goals per game and only give up 3.09 goals per game. So nearly a full goal better than they give up every single game. That's how good this offense is. But they're going against a Dallas team that can not only also score the puck, though in this postseason, they are only averaging 2.9 goals per game. Okay. They also don't give up. They're only giving up 2.9 goals against per game. So Dallas has the offensive prowess, but arguably the best defensive hockey team left in the postseason. Also, they have nearly a 31% conversion rate on their power play and are stopping teams at an 86% clip on their penalty kill. So if you don't allow the high-powered Edmonton Oilers to get an advantage on the power play, and you play that good down one man, and you also play that good up one man, and you are that good defensively when it comes to 5-on-5 hockey, I give the Dallas Stars a lot of chance here. Plus, they have home ice advantage. I think this game goes 7. Okay. But man, I think I'm starting to lean towards Dallas. I threw a pick out there randomly yesterday with Rocky, and I think it was Florida versus Dallas. But as I looked at this game more, I'm a big defense wins championship guys. So if Ottinger can show up in goal and they can hold it to that, man, Dallas could be the team to slow down this high-powered Edmonton Oilers offense. That series starts tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of good sports on for the people tonight. So make sure you get your TVs ready, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get out of here. How about this song choice with some quick picks? I'm taking Dallas tonight, straight up on the money line. Okay. I think the over-under in this game is 6.5 goals. 5.5 goals. No, 6.5 goals. I was right. I would take the under here. I just think that it's going to be under, 3-2, 4-2, something like that. Give me Dallas straight up on the money line. I'm not officially putting the over under down as a pick, but hey, you do your thing. Okay. And then I also want to take the Knicks tonight. All right. And I want to get the final official line on this for you because I did not write it down the same way I saw it this morning. It is -4.5 on the Knicks. I'm going to take that actually. Give me the Knicks at the -4.5 and give me Dallas on the money line. I think that's going to be a good evening for the people. Hopefully you have a great day on this day. We will make sure we get our live situation situated so that we can be live for the people on all of our sites at all times. Andrew Romanello, The Rome Show, 12OZ Sports. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Until tomorrow, you have an electric Wednesday. And peace.
Thank you for listening.